The notification came at 8:02 p.m. Motion detected. Front door. I was halfway through my drink, my wife laughing across the table, when I opened the app. The Ring camera feed flickered, grainy, blue lit. My father-in-law stood at our doorstep, struggling with something heavy, a suitcase. He shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been leaving. He'd said he'd watch our baby until midnight. That was barely 2 hours ago. My thumb froze over the screen. I watched him glance around, then drag the suitcase out of frame. The feed cut off. "Everything okay?" my wife asked. I looked up. Her smile was easy, unaware. "Yeah," I said, "just a notification." But my voice sounded hollow. When she called him moments later, he answered too quickly, too steady. "At your house," he said. "Baby's asleep, don't worry." Her face softened, but something inside me locked up, because I'd just watched him leave. We drove home without finishing dinner. The city lights passed like cold pulses through the windshield. My wife kept dialing her father. No answer. The house looked normal from the outside. Lights still on in the living room. The soft hum of the baby monitor from upstairs. But the door was ajar. Inside, the air felt wrong, heavy, like a breath held too long. My wife called out, "Dad?" No answer. The suitcase sat in the middle of the hallway, zipped tight. My heart was pounding. I remember reaching for it, my fingers trembling, not from fear, but from something sharper. Instinct. The zipper slid open. Inside, baby blankets. Stained, torn, and beneath them, a small stuffed bear, soaked in something dark. My wife screamed. I didn't. I just stared. My brain refused to translate what my eyes were seeing. Then the nursery door creaked open upstairs. I ran. He was gone. The crib was overturned. The window half open. Cold air seeping in like a quiet witness. I remember standing there, feeling detached from my body. My wife sobbed behind me, clutching the empty blanket like it could still hold warmth. The police came. Questions followed. Flashing lights painted the walls red and blue. But my mind was elsewhere, turning over every moment, every word. He had offered to babysit. He had insisted. He'd smiled when he said, "Go enjoy your night. You both deserve it." The next day they found the car, his SUV, abandoned near the woods. No trace of him, no trace of the baby. The media called it a disappearance. I called it something else. Betrayal. Because weeks earlier, I'd found text messages on his phone, my wife's name, her words. "Don't tell him yet. We'll figure it out after the anniversary." At first, I thought it was an affair. But then I noticed the dates. They went back to before our wedding. And one message stopped me cold. He thinks the baby is his. I didn't confront her, not yet. Instead, I played along. I told the detectives I trusted her, that we'd get through it. I waited until the investigation quieted down, until the news forgot. Then I ordered a DNA kit. A week later, the results arrived. I opened it at the cafe where I used to take her every Sunday. I read the numbers once, then again. 0% probability of paternity. I laughed, quietly. It didn't sound human. That night, I showed her the results, laid them on the kitchen counter beside her untouched wine glass. She looked at them, then at me. Her lips trembled. "Please, let me explain." I cut her off with silence. She kept talking anyway, words spilling out like confessions from a drowning woman. Her father had always controlled her, manipulated her. When I came into her life, he couldn't stand losing that power. He threatened her, used her. And the baby? She broke down before finishing. I didn't need to hear it. I already knew. A month later, the police found him, in a cabin outside the city, dead. A gunshot wound to the head. They called it suicide, but I knew better. He hadn't run. He'd been hiding, waiting for her to come back. And she did. I found the emails later, her desperate apologies, her guilt. She went to him the night before his death. The autopsy found no gunpowder on his hands. I didn't say a word. I let her unravel on her own. I let the guilt rot her from the inside. She still sleeps in our house, on the opposite side of the bed, whispering apologies into the dark. I never answer. Sometimes I sit in the nursery. The window's been fixed, but I keep it slightly open. The cold helps me think. People talk about forgiveness like it's salvation. I think it's just another form of denial. The world expects grief to be loud, but mine is quiet, surgical, controlled. I don't hate her anymore. I don't love her either. I simply observe her. The way she flinches at sudden noises. The way she can't look at the crib. I could expose her, destroy her, but that would end her suffering. And some truths aren't meant to end. They're meant to echo. Every night before I go to bed, I open the Ring app. The last footage still sits there. 8:02 p.m. Him dragging the suitcase away. Her father. Her secret. Her curse. Mine to keep. Forever.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.